everyone and happy Monday. We have such a cute picture today from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford from her planner, today's planner page. Now it's a fairly detailed page, not as small as last page, thank goodness, but it's going to take a few videos. Now I've decided to use my Black Widow, my Derwent Chromaflow pencils. I don't know why I said Black Widow. I was umming and ahhing, to be honest, over which set to use, but I decided on the Chromaflows. Now, if you don't have the full set of Chromaflows, which I'm sure many of you don't have, sorry, I'm out of breath, I've just run upstairs, because they are expensive. I've done some comparison charts with other sets, so you should be able to match up pretty well, I hope. Let's get started. Now, it's a symmetrical design. I'm going to work on both sides, so I'll do one side then the other, each little section, and that will hopefully work out okay. I'm going to start with the faces of our peacocks. We're going to do the peacocks first, and I'm going to use black. Now what I'm going to try to do, let's come in a bit closer for you, is use colours that make the peacocks look sort of as real as possible, I guess. Now if you look at their little faces, there are markings on the faces. I'm going to leave those white and just colour in the rest of this main area in quite a thick black, so it's really quite straightforward. Just to start with, the only thing is we have the eye is black, but I think it will be okay. What I am trying to do is to make them the sort of colours that peacocks are. Now I see a lot of pictures of peacocks online. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil, and quite often they're not right and they've been photoshopped and things like that. But peacocks are pretty without needing to be photoshopped. I don't know how many of you have actually seen them. I've seen them a lot. When I was young, in the park that we used to go to play at, there was this sort of little animal area. It's an interesting story actually as to why it's there. And there was a peacock in one of the cages, and if there were peahens around, he would be popping his tail up to show off to them, and it really was quite the sight. Yeah, the reason there's an animal area there is because the park used to be a house with gardens. The park was the gardens of the house, and the owner, it was sort of, I guess it was sort of Victorian era, where it would be the thing to have a sort of little menagerie of animals. So that's what he had. I don't know what sort of animals were there back then, obviously. If you believe my children, you'd think I was alive then, but I really wasn't. The house and gardens got donated to the council, I guess, and it's now a public park, and the house is a sort of building that's used for, it's got a cafe in it now, and used for music recitals. It's got like a ballroom. It's not really a house as such, it's a building, so I don't think he would live there. I think it was an entertainment venue, you know, so he would have his friends and family over and show off his huge garden and his smart house and things like that. And also the sort of, and then it was sort of more open to, parts of it were open to the public, and but they weren't allowed into near the house, near the building. They could stay the other side of the lake and look over and watch the middle upper classes parading around on that side, but they weren't allowed to interact with them, you know. But there we go. Right, now our neck of our peacocks, I think, could look a little bit iridescent, shiny. It's not easy to do, but we're going to have a go. So we're going to start with the sea blue. So you want a turquoisey blue type colour. And I think from my swatch chart this one looks like it's going to work. I'm going to start, this is quite a dark one, so sea blue, and we're going to do the edges. I'm just having a look. Yeah, so I'm copying a picture that I've done already, That's why I'm looking. I've done this picture in my second copy of Worlds of Wonder, so you want to do start to fade it like that, so do a sort of dark part on the edge and a bit less towards the middle. We don't want to go all the way to the middle, we need space for other colours, so just sort of scumble it down a little bit and just fade it there, and a little bit here as well. Yeah, I've done it already and I really like the way my peacocks came out. It sounds very big-headed, and so I wanted to do them the same, but the rest of it I will try and do a bit differently. I'm not going to show you the you may have seen it, but I'm not going to show you. You have to wait and see. So that I'm not going to go dark along the edge there. There's not a lot of space, and we've got that black there anyway. I don't know why that isn't quite looking right. There we go. I may come back and darken that a little bit more. Now I want to go a little bit lighter with a blue. Let me have a look at my swatch sheet. I am thinking good words. They're real words. I'm going to go with the teal actually. So we're going slightly greenish, just slightly. So here it is, the teal. And gosh, it's blunt. I find Derwents break a lot when sharpening. I find it hard. I've got a Derwent sharpener which is better, but I think they're probably better with a dowel or the Derwent hand crank sharpener, or an electric sharpener really. But they're noisy when you're on video. That's nice and crumbly, wasn't it? So now we want to take the colour across a bit, so we've only got a little bit of a gap. That's it. There. So I hope everyone's doing okay today, this Monday morning. For you, not for me. It's not Monday here. Now I want the turquoise green for the central part. Here it is. Now I think I'm going to need to put more layers on, but I'm going to put this down first and just see how it all works. What you'll see is it almost gives this sort of shiny, iridescent look to that centre part of the neck, which I rather like. This is not my original idea, by the way. I've seen a lot of people do it. I just looked at it and tried it for myself and worked out how to do it, but the idea is not mine. There we go. Now we need to just blend it a little bit. It's a little bit too light for my liking, so I'm going to grab the teal again and just extend that, put the teal actually all over from the outside in, and just blend it in a bit better. Yours might be lovely without needing an extra bit. There we go. Yeah, I've been thinking about, what is the date today? 23rd, yeah, first day of uni term. But I obviously I'm recording this early, so it isn't. I'm back to my sea blue. I'm just going to go do that edge bit again, just a little bit. There we go. That's better. Yeah, but I'm not sure if my one boy is going to be doing Mondays, but the other one hasn't got his timetable yet, so I don't know. Now the tummy I like to do in a sort of navy-ish colour, you know, really dark blue. Just looking at what I've got here, I've got the peacock blue, which would seem the right name. So should we do it? I think we ought to. It would seem wrong not to put some peacock blue on the peacock. I'm just going to sharpen it. And you'll just see it's really dark blue. Oh, yeah, I think that's okay. So here we go, peacock blue. and just this little bit here, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. Again, I'm just going to do the edge. I'm going to make this a slightly larger area. Probably all the way down here, like that, and then in. I want a slightly lighter area again, like I did on the neck, but not in quite the same way. So I'm just going to lighten it like that, but it's not going to be my final colour. It's not going to be left like that. And then the same, I'll match it up on the other side. I never know whether on these sorts of symmetrical pictures whether it's better to just do one side, and then I used to always just do each item. Just want to do that, sorry, and let you follow it again and do the rest, because it's, I don't know how boring it is watching me do the same thing, but anyway. I don't know. There we go. Got a bit of a blue on there, but I'm not going to worry too much. Now, I feel like I want something slightly lighter in the middle there. I'm going to grab the bondi blue. Quite a nice colour. And I'm going to do that in the middle. As I said, I do have some comparison charts for these Chromaflows in my Ko-fi shop, so you can hop over there. I will try and put some links in my description somewhere. I'm just going to go all over with this so that you can find it a bit more easily. And yeah, just go in my Ko-fi shop, and what you can do is in the shop there is a search area, and if you just put Chromaflow in, you'll find all my Chromaflow freebies. So you'll find the original swatch chart, which I've got here that I'm using, and comparison charts. I don't know what I've done, to be honest. I can't remember. I'm just going over all of this. There we go. Oh, I think that's looking quite smart. Now, the ones on their head, these little petal shaped ones, I'm going to use the peacock blue and then a lighter blue on the tip. Okay, so I'm going to start with my peacock blue on the base and then just fade it off. Okay, it's quite tricky in a small space. Do the best you can. Don't worry if it's not perfect. It's just giving the impression. Once you add your other colour, it'll all come together. Just make sure that the very base is dark compared to the tip. It all takes practice. We're all learning all the time. I was going to do some drawing the other day. I thought about it, that's as far as I got. I don't like drawing, but I had this little idea of doing something. I'm not going to say in case I change my mind, but it was only a little leaf that I was going to draw. It wasn't like anything too... Now, which of the blues should we do? I think we use the teal. I think we use the teal for the tip. What's going on with the colour on here? It looks so yellowy. It's very weird. Oh well. To sharpen my teal pencil. I'm just going to break my teal pencil into the sharpener. That's better. Right, and just do the tips. I'm suddenly getting warm. It was a cool morning this morning. It was really lovely. I've got a cardigan on, you can see. I'm just suddenly having a hot flush though. I'm going to have to take it off in a minute. But yeah, it's lovely. Woo! That was, look I've made a mess. Oh dear. Let's get our little eraser. See if I can, I'm not confident that I'm gonna, look, I just ended up smudging it. Oh. Maybe I'm not patient enough, but I don't think that's going to come off. Never mind, I've just got to take my cardi off before I end up in a little puddle of sweat on the floor. Oh. Right, there we go. Okay, let's do the tips of these. I'm not resharpening that. I think it's going to only break again. I just don't think they like this sharpener. As I say, a dowel is a good one for Derwent and their own sharpeners, but their own sharpeners are so much more expensive, and I have had no trouble with dowels at all. Right, now we're going to do some sort of oh, I'm sorry, I'm still taking off my cardigan. We need some sort of yellowy. I just put my hand behind me and bash something on the bookcase. Right, that's better. Let's pull my sleeves up. Now we want some sort of goldish colour. I'm looking at the options. I'm going to use the Golden Sun. Okay, now it's a sort of almost ochre type yellow. Okay, brownish yellow, Golden Sun. And I'm going to mark out quite a few different areas on, or am I? Not sure. We're going to go around, see these shapes here? We're going to go around the edge of these with this, okay? Like this, because if you look at the tail of a peacock, a photo, that's sort of how they look, sort of. They're quite detailed, detailed, but I was going to do more with this than just this, but I'm going to leave it because I'm just looking, it's easier to start with the darker colours. I always find it's easier to start with the darker colours. Some people start with lighter and then go from light to dark. I always find it easier to go the other way, dark to light, because then I can fade my dark down and then blend my light into it. I find the other way round doesn't work for me so well, but I mean, it depends also on the pencil set what works better. I find with polychromos, dark first always seems to be best. As if you put some light down and you press too hard, you can't get any dark on top. Whereas with Prismacolor, it's okay, you can put dark on top of light. So it's all learning, isn't it? All different. But with these I'm gonna, this isn't fading into anything, this is just like a you know, defined line, so it doesn't matter about doing it first. And actually I think it's good to get it down first so that we know where to colour up to when we do the next bit. But with the other part where I'm going to use this on up here, excuse me, I'm going to do it last. I think it will be easier. Takes a bit of concentration, this, stopping me from talking. My family would be happy. Wow, she stopped talking. No, I don't talk so much. I'm just going to wipe my nose. Sorry, you'll be able to catch up. I don't talk so much with my direct family, so I do when I'm in company. Now what I've noticed here is my dark blue has smudged. I'm just going to see if I can erase it back a bit. I'm not used to using smudgy pencils, that's better. Anyway, let's go down here. Sorry, I'm a bit hoarse this morning. I was when I got up as well. I don't know what's going on. I've not got a sore throat or anything. I think it's just my morning voice. She says, morning voice at 10:30. Yeah, I've been uploading videos and making thumbnails and doing those sorts of things first thing. I was also husband going to work today because it's Wednesday. He's at work on a Wednesday, and he always takes him. I get up at 6 when he's going to work to get his lunchbox, make sure he's up, and you know, all that sort of thing. And he doesn't tend to leave until about 9:30. So I'm usually fiddling around doing other things, waiting, and then but he left and I thought I'd video, and then I thought actually I could do with a cup of coffee. So I had a coffee first and was fiddling around with stuff. So just getting on. There's always something to do. I actually put something on my to-do list yesterday which I thought I would be able to do because I had a plumber in. What a surprise. And so I thought I'd be able to do it while he was here, and I got some of my jobs done, but actually he was much quicker than I had anticipated, which is a good thing, of course. And so I got on to some recording. I actually ended up making about 5 videos yesterday, which was good because I hadn't done any on Sunday or Monday because we'd had guests. So I wanted to get back into the swing of it. And I had a picture I wanted to finish, which I was enjoying, so I wanted to do that. And I'm just having a look at what colours I've been using in my other picture. I am going to use the not that one, slightly lighter. Let's go for the teal, I think. Yeah, let's start with the teal. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some areas on the wings where we're going to use the dark colour first. I'll show you here, and then we're going to fade down to this sort of yellowy colour. Yeah, it's a really different colour to yellow, isn't it? But we'll get there. Now I'm going to do this bit slightly differently to my original because I'm going to treat this whole section as one because it's much smaller. In my other version I did these little sections separately, and this piece as well. So a darker bit here, just fade it a bit. Let me see. Yeah. Now I'm also going to use this colour, I think. Let me look. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave that for now. Then we're going to use the turquoise green colour. So we're going to blend it in to sort of the middle of that, and then just fade it off like that. Same here, all the way down to that line. That line we're going to colour black. If you get ahead and you want to do it early, I'll do it in a minute. Now I'm going to do a little bit of green. I want a very bluey green. I think green meadow is the best I can get in this set. If you're using polychromos, use light phthalo green. That's the sort of green I'm looking for. I think this will work. It's got to, it's all I've got. So I'm going to just do a little bit of green here. I still want to leave the tip for my next colour. It's not blended as well as I'd hoped. I might have to go back in a bit. That's the green, and then we're going to go to our golden sun, and I'm actually going to start at the bottom with this because I want a dark layer here. I'm actually going to fade it into that green a bit like that. It's not going to blend perfectly because it's quite a different colour, but I just want it to look bright on the tip, if that makes sense. There we go. Now I'm going to go back through the colours that I've used. So I'm going to grab my green meadow again and just sort of blend it together a bit better. Make that a little bit harder. I think it helps with a bit of vibrancy. was that? Did I use it? The turquoise green. I think that's what I used for the next bit. Just sort of blend it in. Make it vibrant. And lastly, did we use the teal? Can't remember. That's what I'm going to use now. Yeah, get that bit quite dark and then quickly fade it off. And then we can see the sort of difference in the colours. The sun's going in and out. I didn't think it was going to be sunny today. Right, next we're going to use some black. Now, as I said, we're going to make this line black and this line black. It's nice and simple, just a thick black line. Now, some of our feathers are going to be black too. My black's all wobbly. My stomach's rumbling. I felt hungry earlier. I don't know, I'm so hungry. Anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to do some black and white feathers here. So what we do is we do a bit of black here, and then we leave like a white stripe and a few more and a sort of white stripe like that. Okay, and we're going to work through doing stripy feathers. If you can't get the white, use a pencil that you know you can put a white pen on top of, and you can do white pen after. I'm going to try my hardest to keep the white in. I'm not going to try and make them exactly symmetrical. They wouldn't be anyway, and it's quite difficult. I know my lead is really wobbly, it's probably getting on your nerves. I'm going to go and sharpen it next door. It's a bit better, isn't it? I use my electric sharpener. Let's see how well it holds that point. So what I'm trying to do here is to have my white lines sort of parallel with the shape of the feather. And I'm sort of trying to get a thicker black line than white line. It's quite difficult on this very small detail. As I said, you might be better off just filling it in black and then using a white pen. But I'm going to try and avoid doing that. Just want to show you how to do it with the pencil in case you haven't got a white pen. I think most colourists have a white pen these days. I feel like you sort of look at all the different colouring trends, and I feel like I should perhaps be a bit more active in some Facebook groups, because everyone's doing the latest sort of trend, and I don't know what it is. Now this bit here I'm going to do as well, so all the way along I'm going to put a black line. Yeah, I remember, sort of what are people buying, what are the latest sort of techniques. I know there was a sort of galaxy sort of technique, sky technique, that was all the trend at one point. And that sort of thing. I feel like I should be a bit more on trend, so I can give you some videos that are sort of, showing you the techniques. No, I think it was, what was it, a galaxy background in sort of watercolour, and then going over the items in white pen. I did try it actually, and it was a complete disaster, so I decided not Not do that didn't really work, did it? Not to show you how to do it, because I obviously clearly didn't know. Well, what I find is the white pen work, I can't always get it looking particularly good. I think a lot of people have this trouble where either your white pen isn't the best pen for the job or something, and it just isn't really working. I don't know really what it is, but sometimes I think maybe it needs 3 or 4 layers. I don't have the patience, something like that, but or maybe I'm using the wrong pencil or material underneath. I tried it, as I say, I tried it with watercolour, and actually what happened was, that's right, the watercolour pencils that I used, they coloured the pen, the white pen, they bled into the pen, so it didn't, my white didn't show up because it went pink or whatever. There we go, there's that bit. It's not that vibrant. If you want your white to be more vibrant, you can use the white pen by all means. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm just looking at what else I did. Okay, keep the black. This little triangle here I'm going to do in black. I'm going to do it quite dark at the top here and then fade it towards the pointy bit. Oh, I've got hiccups now. Got it all going on this morning, like that. And do the same on the other side. Nice and straightforward. There's another bit that I did black. Which bit? No, I'm lying. No, I'm not lying. This bit here. So this bit in the centre, I'm just going to block that in. Not too thick and dark. I don't want it as dark as their faces, but just block it in a bit like that. And this one. I know this has been quite a longish video really, but not massively long. Now these 3 stripes there, they are a sort of reddish brown. I'm going to use the redwood. I used the redwood yesterday, in a video. It was a Castle Arts Gold, I think, redwood. I'm going to try and make them a bit more intense at the top. Now this colour feels like it doesn't match, doesn't it? It stands out. You're like, what is that? But it's if you look at a picture of the bird, that's the colour. So that's what I did. I tried to match the bird's colour. And it puts you out of your comfort zone, which is a good thing sometimes, I feel. There we go. Now this little one in here, this is the dark blue that we used right at the beginning. Was it the sea blue? Peacock blue. The sea blue. Okay, and that one. So I'm going to make it darker at the top. Just fade it down a little bit. So it's slightly lighter than the blue of the tummy. There we go. And the same on this one. And that very bottom bit is the same again, the same colour. Let's just fill that in. So I'm making it darker here, I think, and then fade towards the tail. But I don't want it to look too white. There we go. The same over here. Okay. Now our tail. Now these circles, we want a dark piece in the middle, and I am thinking that the peacock blue is probably our best colour for that. And what we want is, we don't want to fill the whole thing in, just part of it. So we're going to draw in a little shape like that. Okay. Don't get too precious about your drawing. My drawing is rubbish. It is just a little sort of rounded leafy type shape. It's nothing too difficult. They don't have to look the same in every one. Mine certainly won't. Like that. Now this isn't quite how it looks, but it's near enough. You know, it's a very complex bird, very complex colours. Imagine the energy. I think they in ducks, I know a bit about ducks, I don't know much about peacocks. The males lose all their coloured, I don't know if you know, like mallards, ducks have this sort of green head. In the out of the breeding season they lose all those feathers and they look just like females, quite drab. And sorry females. And I wonder if peacocks do that too, because it takes a lot of energy apparently for the mallards to keep that colour, and that is part of the reason why the colour is important to the females, because they can see that the males are healthy. You know, the ones with the brightest colours are the strongest, healthiest, and that, you know, genetically wise, that would be attractive. I do find it fascinating that in humans it's the women that want to attract the men. I mean, it's changing a little bit now, but you know, when I was growing up, women would make up and do their hair and, you know, dress in a way to attract a man, whereas the men wouldn't really bother. But these days I think it's getting better. It's sort of moving towards both men and women doing that. But it just seemed a little bit odd to me that it was almost the opposite, whereas that is not the sort of nature's way, because women want to find a man who has got good genes for their children, you know, and for humans that doesn't seem to be quite the same, you know. It's an interesting thing. We're sort of almost defying nature. I mean, I guess we did, because we had IVF. It's not something animals can do. Now we want a light blue, bluey purple. I don't think the turquoise green is quite going to cut it, but I think it's the only one I have. Yeah, it is. It's the only one I have. I'm going to have to just use it. It's a little bit too greeny. Okay, but I'm going to do it anyway and fill in this space. It actually, no, that works. That works. No, it is right. I am not making sense. Doubting myself. So just fill in the rest of the circle. If you go over a bit of the main blue, even if you smudge it in, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's a small space. You can make it work. And just have fun blocking it in. I'm going to have to sharpen my pencil. I've got my electric sharpener. I'm just going to pause. I don't think, look at that. It's lovely, isn't it? But it's a bit noisy on camera, so I thought I would just pause. I don't always like pausing because I like to see how long the video is, so I don't go on too long or too short or whatever. But I'm just going to finish this tail, and then that'll be today's anyway, so I knew where I was at. That's fine. Yeah, this works lovely with that electric sharpener, but as I say, a hand crank or a dowel, they're all good too. Right, so the other side the same. Just hold the page down with my hand. Now I'm leaning on the ring. Ow, ow. Turn your book so you're not. And the last bit we need to do is this sort of outside bit, and I want to make it look a little bit more feathery, and I've got a really simple way of doing it, because why make it hard? And we're going to use greens. I was going to use this one, but I can't because I've used it for this, but it's too blue anyway. So yeah, I know what we can do. We use that green meadow that we used before to start with. It's quite good using the same colours for several reasons. Firstly, it's likely that it would be the same colour, I think, but also it sort of ties it together a little bit, which is always nice. So what we want to do is take that green meadow colour and put it all over the feathers to start with. Not too hard though, because we're going to go over it with something else. Okay, so in all of our, everywhere here. Now it's a little bit similar to the colour that I've used in here, but it's fine. It definitely looks green and that looks blue, which is the idea. Try and cover all the space. If that means going over your yellow a little bit, don't worry too much. I've got to find another colour to go on top to put our feathers in. Looks like I missed that one. Never mind. No one's going to notice. I didn't say anything, you didn't notice. I wonder if any do get missed on peacocks. You know, that no bird's going to be absolutely perfect. There are white peacocks as well. Now I find those more impressive. They're just really different. I've seen those at there's a bird and deer park here, and they have those there, white peacocks. They're a bit smaller than these type. I don't know what this type are called. Go over all these little bits too. And yeah, a little bit smaller. And they're just completely white. But I find them equally as impressive, if not more so. They're a bit more elegant than this sort of brashness of these, you know. And also I have not seen white peacocks so much, because as I said, when I was young there was a peacock in the play park, so we saw it a lot. Yeah, I remember going to that park. There was swings and baby swings, just the old traditional swings, which is just a chain with a plastic seat. A slide. Now the slides that you would go up a high ladder, there'd be a little wooden box thing on the top, which you would, I guess it stops you falling off the top, and then slide down. And is there a climbing frame or a roundabout? I don't remember anything else there. There must have been something else there. And what I remember a lot though is that there were two halves to the park, and you went under a tunnel to get to the second half of the park. There's a huge lake, boating lake, and a golf course, and on the far side was a leisure centre. And what else was there? And across the road from the leisure centre was a stadium, you know, like athletics stadium. I don't know if that's still there. No idea. Haven't been there for donkey's years. Anyway, now we're going to draw in some feathers, and we need a darker green to do that. I am going to try the tropical rain. I think it might work. Just trying to find it. Bear with me. There it is. Of course it needs sharpening, and it needs to be really sharp, so I'm going to pause. Right, you're going to draw on feathers. So we're going to use this stem that's drawn on already and go like this to just draw in, oh, there's sort of feathery shapes like that. Okay, it's not too tricky. I don't feel that it's proper drawing, it's just lines. Although, gosh, I remember someone was, when I was on the PTA, Parents Teachers Association at the boys' primary school, someone was drawing up a sign for a cake sale, and she drew on a teapot and some cakes and cups and saucers and things, and I was like, wow, so good. She was like, oh, it's just mark making. I'm like, no. I know you're just being modest, but really it isn't. Most people can't just mark make. I know she was just trying to be modest, but it was like, I think she was just trying to make it sound like she wasn't clever, but for me it made it sound like, oh, it's easy. Do you know what I mean? Now these ones I'm just going to put a few lines through like that. Yeah, so we've got, it looks a bit more feathery. We're just going to do the same with the other side. Now this, for me, this is mark making. It's just a few strokes of a line, but drawing a cup and saucer, a teapot, so hard to draw. Getting all the proportions right. She was just doing it from her head, you know, oh, I'll just do this quickly, you know, kneeling down awkwardly, just doing a few, yeah, it's like, it's amazing. But anyway. There we go. Gets a bit trickier when you get to this bit. It's just put lines in where you can find a space, really. There we go. Yeah, I think we are done with that. And that is enough, I think, for today. Let's come out so you can see it in the context of the whole page. There we are. So that is our first little bit. Oh, we haven't done their feet. Grey is what I chose. Let me have a quick look. Let's do that before we finish. I am going to use the Oxford Grey. It is a mid cold grey, I think. That's what I'm looking for. So you can't see because I've zoomed out. I'm just going to block it in. I'm not going to do anything too special. It's quite a bluey grey, this, actually. Now I'm definitely done. That's me done. So tomorrow I'll be working on other bits. I'm not sure what, whether I'll get it all done, I don't know. But we'll be looking at the flowers and leaves and things like that. So please pop back tomorrow afternoon. There'll be another video. But for now, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. Even if you just comment a little smiley face or something. Comments are really quite valuable to YouTubers, and likes as well, so please do so, or dislike if you hated it, dislike it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and happy colouring.